What's up, y'all? Give me a second. I know I'm showing DMs, but I just want to make sure I didn't miss an important message here. It is free agency day, everybody. Big day. Alright, hold on. I'm switching music. Give me just a second. No. Okay. Big day, everybody, as we are gonna be watching as all the news comes on in. We're gonna get every little bit of the news today, as it just kind of files in here. Already some big news right off the bat, which is that Chris Paul is no longer gonna be on the Warriors at the moment, as the Warriors just waived Chris Paul. So that's a pretty big deal, because now it kind of seems like the Levine to the Warriors trade idea is kind of dead. So I mean, I'm sure there's still probably a way, but as of right now, that seems like that's kind of where things are headed with that. All right, let me go ahead and I'm gonna move you guys just a little bit like this. So Chris Paul is now officially a free agent, as they made sure to go ahead and waive him and not have him re-sign. Big news has dropped here. Shams Charania just announced that James Harden is going to re-sign with the Clippers, which I think we kind of expected James Harden to re-sign with the Clippers, but looks like it's going to be $35 million annually. We'll see if there's a player option at the second year for that, which I think there will be. So this is not that unexpected. So not nothing too crazy with that sort of deal. But Harden is back to the Clippers, and as always, just a reminder that incumbent free agents, they are allowed to negotiate with teams basically at the end of the NBA Finals. So James Harden already negotiating with the Clippers is not going to be any sort of tampering. He is allowed to do so, and the Clippers and Harden get a deal done right before free agency actually does start. So good for them. So the Clippers are still hell-bent on trying to go ahead and win next season. I am happy to hear that, because now I think DeMar DeRozan is a legit possibility for them, because it really seems like Paul George is not re-signing with them, which is going to be interesting to see. So we'll see if DeMar DeRozan is going to head over to LA and play with Kawhi and Harden, which will be an interesting lineup, I'll say. But if the Clippers want to stay relevant, that's a move they could go ahead and make. So yeah. This was also something that I just saw right before I actually hit the go live button, which is that Neil Gogna, who I know has been around for the NBA for a little bit, but he's suddenly just leaking stuff. He leaked earlier that there's belief around the association that Paul George has already informed the Clippers he will not be re-signing with the franchise, which is odd. I don't know where he's getting this info from. He's not really a guy as a Shams or Woj, but I don't want to be showing that right now. Whoops. I hate spam bots. That's so stupid. But yeah, so he basically says KCP is likely to sign with the Orlando Magic, which is interesting to say the least. I know that the Bulls have been kind of rumored to be wanting KCP. I don't understand that move for the Bulls whatsoever, but if this is actually true that KCP is going to Orlando Magic, I think that is a fantastic move for the Magic. And we'll be interested to see, because we are now officially 6 minutes away before things start coming in. So I'm excited to see it all happen for us. All right, y'all. Before we actually head into free agency, though. Sorry, I'm getting other notifications. Okay. Before we head into actual free agency, what do you guys want to see? It doesn't have to be Bulls related, but what is one move that you would like to see happen, just in terms of free agency? And I'm going to pull up a list of the free agents here. So these are the ones that have already been reported. Obviously, it's not fully up to date because, they don't have the James Harden deal in already. But here are the available free agents. As we can see here, major free agents. LeBron's going to re-sign with the Lakers, but Paul George should be on the move. Klay Thompson is said to be on the move as well. Harden just re-signed, so that's nothing. But What is one move that you would like to see happen around the association today, or at least in free agency? Because I think this is going to be interesting offseason, because it's the first year, or it's the second year under the new CBA rules, but it's the first year where the new CBA rules really come into effect. So I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say, as we are going to be soon heading into Shams and Woj notifications going on left and right here. Let me pull up chat here. I'll go ahead and tell you what I personally want to see, and I think this is overall just is going to relate back all the way to the Bulls here, because I think this is going to help the Bulls the most. It's already been talked about a lot, but I think honestly, Paul George, as much as I would like to kind of see him go to Philly, because it would be a very good trio of PG, Embiid, and Maxey, I honestly think he should go to Orlando. Like, I'm being real, because I think that he's gonna have a better chance of winning there. And maybe that's crazy for me to say, but adding him next to Banchero is a very good, two-headed monster that they have to deal with. And then obviously Franz Wagner suddenly becomes your third best player, which is good. Reason being, though, is that I think PG going to Orlando helps out the Bulls in a sense that it's going to basically force DeMar DeRozan to either be going to the 76ers or he's going to LA. Most likely he's going to LA. But if he goes to Orlando, if PG goes to Orlando, that opens up the 76ers opportunity as well. It also would then open up an opportunity for Zach if, like, let's say the 76ers actually just strike out on everybody. That would be an option too. I'm getting a phone call, and I do apologize. Give me just a second as I mute everything. Give me 1 second here. Hi, streaming. Bye. Okay, bye. Alright. Let's see here. Alright, we have three minutes minutes away now. I'm gonna go ahead and just bring up my notifications just in case here. Okay, yeah. So player option for year 2 of James Harden. Expected that. Not a surprise. Clippers are still working on trying to be actually relevant still. So I'm interested to see how they actually pull this off here. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. This is gonna be interesting to see what the Clippers do, because I think the obvious option is DeRozan, but who knows? They may have something else like planned for them, etc., etc. All right. Other thing I want to talk about with you guys before free agency starts. I'm gonna give you kind of a little bit of a rundown of guys that I think would be good for the Bulls to kind of go ahead and target. First off, do not go after this man, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Do not go after this man. I don't understand why the Bulls are rumored to try to get him. It makes no sense. And if you're wondering, like, well, KCP's not gonna like suddenly get you like 5 wins or something. Like, I'm aware that KCP is not gonna suddenly, shoot you into like a bunch of wins during the season. But my thing is this: if the Bulls only have the mid-level exception to spend, they don't have a bunch of cap space that they could go ahead and just throw at guys right now. So their mid-level exceptions should be spent on a guy that should be like, they should be taking like a flyer. They shouldn't be taking somebody that is already like a very clear-cut veteran. I'm aware that if you sign KCP, you're probably just going to trade him, so there's decent value there, but I just think it's a poor use of your assets, because you only have the mid-level exception to spend, and KCP would require all, 12.3 or whatever it is million of the mid-level exception. That's not what I think the Bulls should be doing right now. I think they should be targeting guys that could be part of their future, that fit into the younger timeline that the Bulls have already set themselves up with. So, for example, one guy is Jalen Smith. He is an unrestricted free agent, so that's huge for the Bulls. And I think that the Bulls can sign Jalen Smith to either the full MLE or even less than the full MLE, which would be fantastic, okay? So that's one guy that I would like to see the Bulls go ahead and try to target, and try to use their mid-level exception on. The other guy is Precious Achiuwa. The New York Knicks actually have rescinded their qualifying offer to Precious, so he is officially an unrestricted free agent. So these are two guys that we don't have to really worry about when it comes to restricted free agency. And I think those two guys would be the best for the Bulls to kind of target their mid-level exception. I'm not really too worried about fit whatsoever, honestly, when it comes to these two guys. And yes, maybe you can argue they're both centers, but I don't really think fit really matters right now. I'm just trying to go get young talent if I'm the Bulls, and just try to see if I can snag one of these players and lock them up for 4 years with my mid-level exception now, especially knowing that the salary cap is going to be increasing by a ton here on out, and just lock them up for this year's mid-level exception and nothing more. So yeah, that's that. Here's the Bulls' current salary cap situation. Spot track is being stupid, so I can't really do anything. I've tried to do this. I don't know how I was able to get to this website, but like it allows me to kind of manage some stuff. But it's official now that Patrick Williams' estimations in here. Again, we don't fully know Patrick's salaries, but this is kind of what I was talking about in my video, that I think this is how his salary is going to look like per year. But like I'm able to just basically renounce DeRozan's rights, but then I can't trade anybody in this whole thing. As you can see, I renounced DeRozan, so I don't fully understand that, honestly. But quick look here at what the Bulls have to offer. So now that the full numbers have officially dropped for the NBA, 12.8 million is the mid-level exception. The Bulls will also have the biannual exception of $4.6 million to work with as well. Let's see what we got here. Luke Kornet has agreed to a 1-year deal to return to the Boston Celtics. I see. Okay, here's a big thing, as Shams Charania has officially said that Klay Thompson is departing the Warriors and the sides will begin to work through a sign-and-trade option. I'm intrigued. I want to see what this actually means for Klay Thompson and the Warriors. I don't know how much Klay Thompson is going to be actually getting. I know the rumors were that he's going to accept the mid-level exception with the Lakers, which that, you know, it could happen. I just don't see it happening. A sign-and-trade made a lot more sense, but I just don't know where. Where does Klay Thompson fit in terms of working out with anybody? Do you think Vooch is still on the roster by the start of next season? I think there's a higher chance than I thought probably 4 days ago. If I had to give you a yes or no answer, I'd say no. But if I had to give you a percentage, I think there's a 40% chance he's on the roster and 60% chance he's gone. So there's your answer. I still think there's a higher chance he gets moved, but it's a much lower chance than I thought before. I would love Vooch to get off this roster. Is Claxton a free agent? No, Nick Claxton has re-signed with the Brooklyn Nets on a 4-year, $100 million contract. So if you just want a quick look at it, Nick Claxton, as you can see here, 4 years, $100 million to re-sign with the Brooklyn Nets. Pretty good contract by them, I won't lie. I'm upset that Claxton was able to go back and he didn't test his market, but his agent did a good job getting that much money for him, so congrats to him. Yeah, unfortunately, Nick Claxton is not a free agent at the moment. All right, let's see here. Kevin Love is finalizing a 2-year deal, $8 million plus deal to return to Miami Heat. Okay, yeah, we just saw that Kevin Love declined his player option the other day, and this makes a lot of sense. Excuse me, because the Miami Heat and them wanted to just re-sign him basically immediately. So nothing too shocking here. I'm not shocked by this at all. So nothing too spicy yet. We're officially in a free agency, but nothing too spicy yet. The only thing that's been spicy has just been this year, but we don't know where Klay Thompson's going. So I'm interested to see where exactly Klay Thompson does end up and what the Warriors get in return, for God's sake. That'll be the more interesting thing to kind of look into. All right. If you guys see any more, like if there's other people reporting, if it's Chris Haynes or Jake Fisher reporting, tell me in the chat, and I'm willing to go and look at that when it does, if they do break it. So you can either put it in the chat, or you can tell me, like say, hey, Chris Haynes just announced this. Just let me know. I'm only gonna have Shams and Woj up, but I'm aware that Chris Haynes also is pretty good with it. Jake Fisher's a little bit less trustworthy, but I'm also willing to go look at his Twitter just to find out what's being talked about. Okay, I'm intrigued by this guy because he makes a bold claim that KCP's going to the Magic. I have my doubts about it, but I'm willing to look into it. Also, welcome everybody that is just coming in here. I saw MC Season. How you doing, man? What's going on, Patrick? Who are your Bulls targets? Okay, yeah, I'll go over my Bulls targets again here. So quick reminder, the Bulls do not have much in terms of money to spend this offseason. I'm going to pull you guys to my second monitor. Hold on. So the Bulls are way over the cap currently. Obviously, even if you get rid of Zach LaVine for nothing, like if you don't take back any salary in return, you're still over the cap. The only way you get under the cap, honestly, is if you get rid of all three of LaVine, Vooch, and DeRozan. And again, you have to get rid of DeRozan's cap hold. As you can see here, this $42.9 million counts against our cap space as long as we hold on to it, okay? And the Bulls are not going to let this go because they're going to try to sign and trade DeRozan. So the most the Bulls can spend right now is this 12.8 mid-level exception that is available to us, and then the 4.6 biannual exception right here, okay? It's not a lot of money. So if I were the Bulls, I have two guys that I want. One is Jalen Smith. As you can see here, he is an unrestricted free agent. I think he just, at 24, he comes in, he can shoot threes from the center position, he can play power forward and center, and he's a pretty good shot blocker. So go ahead and just snag Jalen Smith, sign him to the full MLE if you have to. I'd be fine with that. No issues whatsoever with that idea. And then the other guy would be Precious Achiuwa. That's kind of my other guy that I'm like really interested in. I don't know where he is. Hold on. He's here though. So the Knicks rescinded their qualifying offer for Precious, and he's an unrestricted free agent. So I would like Precious Achiuwa. I'm not too worried about fit. I'm not really thinking about fit. I'm aware like both these are like big men-ish. But I'm just worried about getting talent. That's all I'm really worried about with the Bulls right now is go get a young player that you can sign to the mid-level exception now, because the mid-level exception in years to come is going to be a lot bigger. And just see what you have in it. I'm not really too worried about the fit whatsoever. Just go and get talent. I think that's just the best thing the Bulls can go ahead and do right now. And young centers making grabs. So yeah, I mentioned Jalen Smith, and then Precious. You can argue what he is. I think he's more of a center. He is undersized for a center. Jalen Smith is about 6'10", but he's a good shot blocker. So it is what it is. But you guys tell me what you guys think. I mean, like, I've given you mine, but let me know if you guys have other options that you think would be good for the Bulls. Let me know. I'm always willing to listen. And yeah, this is the fun part about free agency. Klay talking with LA. Oh my God, Klay Thompson to the Clippers? No way, right? Mavericks, Lakers, Clippers, 76ers in the opening hours of free agency. Okay, this is interesting. So, like I said, if PG is thinking about Orlando here and he doesn't actually go to Philly, then this would be a backup plan for Philly. And I wouldn't mind that if I was Philly. I'm just still trying. Hello? Can y'all hear me? I don't know if y'all can hear me right now. Okay. If you can hear me and the stream is back up, can you give me a thumbs up? Because I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. Hold on. I guess I could just look at this for just a second. Okay, I'm back. Thank God. All right. Finally, YouTube gave me like a hey. You're finally back. Okay. That was weird. That was actually not my internet. Thank you guys. Thank you, William and Sandroka, for telling me. That was not my internet. That was OBS. OBS just completely crashed. I don't know why. That was very weird. Like, literally, my computer froze and OBS just straight up crashed. So it wasn't an internet issue, so that's actually kind of a good sign that it wasn't an internet issue. Give me just a second here. Okay. Seems like we're back. Alright. I'm gonna stop hiding my screen here, and we're gonna go back. Okay, I'm gonna leave Task Manager open just in case here. Okay. We're back. Okay. Thank God. Sorry about that. OBS just crashed on me. That was weird. Like my computer froze and OBS crashed. Okay. Let's see what's happening, because I don't really know if anything actually did happen. Let's see. Okay, OBS is still good. Okay, well, I just want to do a straight little limit test. I think nothing happened. Yeah, I'm actually shocked that nothing happened during this period of time. So good time for an F, I guess. All right. I appreciate y'all sticking with me through that. I truly appreciate that. I don't know what happened. That was really weird. Okay. I'm gonna leave off of what I was talking about before, though. I was talking about Jalen Smith's per 36 numbers. And so these are his per 36 numbers. Obviously, I don't expect him to do this good, but if these are like kind of his projected stats, I mean, if we get like, for example, if we can slide him at starting at center and he's like averaging 14 and giving us 9 rebounds and, you know, a good shooting percentage, like I'll be happy with it, because I think Jalen Smith is a really good overall, you know, player just kind of bet on right now and see what else he can do in the NBA. So it's just a guy that I really like. And again, it's just guys for the mid-level exception that I'm talking about right now. I'm not like talking about anybody that is, you know, gonna be signing like a $20 million contract per year. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm just talking about guys that I know the Bulls have the money to spend on currently. So that'd just be a guy that I would personally like. All right, let me bring this up here again. Okay, nothing. Okay, my Twitter is bugging. Thanks, Elon. Okay, still nothing. I'm shocked that we haven't gotten anything yet. Like nothing big yet. I'm actually shocked by this. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and bring up one other Twitter account here on my side screen, just in case. Give me 1 second. Well, actually, let me check in on Gagna, because I don't know if he's done anything. Okay, I'm going to Chris Haynes at the moment. Okay, so Gagna still hasn't tweeted since this tweet, which is very weird to me. Chris Haynes doesn't say anything. Interesting. Okay. Man, are we just not gonna get anything for like the first hour? That would suck, because I was only planning on really streaming like the first hour, because I know my internet's just gonna die soon. Okay, this is Jake Fisher's. I'll pull this up here. And nothing. I mean, he just reported the Harden deal, which is nothing that we already knew this. This isn't anything new. Okay. Weird start to free agency, because we're used to everything just kind of flooding in. And maybe actually teams are like, okay, we're not going to tamper this year, which would be a first, but, or maybe they're just not releasing it out to the public yet, and they've already discussed they've already discussed what contract they want and everything. Can you go back up in the chat? Yeah. What are you looking for, William? Oh, did you not hear me respond to this? Did the stream freeze before I could even respond to this? Oh my god, really? We effed that long ago? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I did not know the stream froze that long ago. Okay, so in terms of Sean Cunningham and the Kings Beat podcast, they're looking to pursue Brandon Ingram. It doesn't really make much sense to me, because I think that the Kings, they can make, I guess the way I put it, it's like, it makes sense kind of, because the Kings do need scoring help, but I think that they can give up less for Levine and have more assets to kind of play with and build a better all-around team. But that's just at least my opinion. We got an update, hopefully. The Jazz are playing away Omer Yurtseven, another center in the free agency market. Ah, okay. I don't know what Yurtseven did last season, but I mean, like I said though, I'm kind of just looking at young players for the Bulls. Not Yuri Collins. I'm just looking at young players for the Bulls to kind of go after. He's 26 at this point, so nah, forget it. We're not too interested in that, honestly. But in terms of Brandon Ingram, like I think BI with the Kings is fascinating. I just think that for them it would just make more sense just to go get Levine, because you're not giving up a lot to get Levine, but you're probably going to have to give up a good chunk to get Ingram. And it's kind of the same thing that I talked about or what's been reported about the Warriors, because I'll pull this tab over, but Will Gottlieb kind of broke it down for like the Warriors too, where it's like, okay, would they rather just go get Levine, or would they rather go get Ingram? And when you kind of look at it all, it just makes sense for the Warriors just to go get Levine. I think that'd just be the smarter decision, honestly. But I'm not entirely sure. But this is what he kind of said, like, and Jake Fisher kind of reported like maybe they're willing to try to go get Zach or go get Ingram if they lose Klay Thompson, which it looks like they're going to. But and they broke it down. It's like, okay, so 2024, this is the upcoming season, okay? But what we're looking at is that Levine actually makes less in the 2025-26 season than BI. And you're also, if you're the Warriors, you're not going to be sending out as much to get Levine as much as you would send out to get BI. So I'm just interested to see what actually does happen. Sorry, I hit my mic. I think this would just make a lot more sense for the Warriors to go ahead and do it. I just don't know how it's possible with now CP3 being gone, which I'll pull up Fanspo here to see if we can maybe do like a trade idea for Zach. But we have to remember, though, that the Warriors are stuck in the second apron, so it's a lot harder for them to actually make a trade that is gonna that combines multiple salaries, because they can't take on more salary than they send out. That's part of the new rule with the second apron, is that if you send out money, you have to take back as much or less. So it's pretty hard now. So again, CP3 has been waived, so we can't use his contract anymore. So it would be the Bulls get Andrew Wiggins, which would not be that good for us. It would probably require Gary Payton II, but I doubt that the Warriors would want to give him up. And then you obviously would be throwing in Moses Moody. So with this trade, it still wouldn't even work, because, well, I guess it says this would work, but if the Warriors are still in the second apron, this doesn't work, because they're getting they're adding money to their salary, which they're not allowed to do so. So if I could adjust this, then I doubt they want to give up Trace Jackson Davis, so I'll just go ahead and say they just give us Gay Santos, and this would be the trade then. Warriors are actually losing money in this deal, so this would just be enough for this to work. I'm not fully sure this is how it would work out, but I'd have to like go over the rules one more time in my head. And here, actually, I'm just gonna pull up the rules now, because these new rules are pretty stupid. I don't know why the NBPA actually agreed to these new rules, but Keith Smith gave us a good graphic to show you how this all works out. Chris Paul, okay, yeah. God dang it! Hold on, I should just went to media, but I was too lazy to do so, and now I'm regretting it. Media. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is the graphic that Keith Smith is bringing up here. Okay, so teams that are in the second apron, okay, it's pretty hard for them to really do anything. Okay, so make trades where one player's salary is sent out and equal or less salary comes back. You do a 1-for-2 or more trade. Okay, I don't fully know exactly what that means. I'll have to really research into it. But if you're even just over the first apron, which the Warriors are for sure going to be, and maybe after them cutting CP3, they're just now in the first apron. You can only go up to 100% in salary matching and trade. Okay, like you can't use more than 100%. Teams that are not in the first apron, okay, and they're just over the cap, you're allowed 125% of salary matching. Okay, you have a little bit more wiggle room. So that's kind of where I'm interested to see what actually does happen. Oh, so you guys talk about trading for Zach. So yeah, like I've been pretty adamant. Like, I don't think there needs to be a rush to trade Zach. I'm with you guys. Like, I think trading Zach just to trade him is not exactly the best idea. Now, if they can find a trade now where they trade him for, you know, like a youngish type prospect in a sense, or just some sort of like flyer that they're willing to take, and they're able to shed salary, and who knows, maybe they get like some seconds out of it, fine. Yeah, it's not great value, but I think that if Zach LaVine is healthy, and I'm even saying this, I think if Zach LaVine just stays healthy up until the month of December, I think there's going to be teams willing to actually try to go after him because they just want to see he's healthy. And I think that's when you will get decent value out of Zach. But it seems like AK is like really hell-bent on trying to get this money moved off, and maybe he has some other plans in the works if he does move all this money, which I don't know how he's going to do that, but we'll see. But I'm with you guys. I would much rather just, you know, hold on to Zach if we're not getting any value in return. Also, if we have to attach any asset, which we should not be, don't trade Zach. We'll be fine if we don't trade Zach immediately. I don't know why everyone's trying to rush him out. That doesn't have to be a priority at the moment, but I'm aware that the Bulls have made it their priority, so here we are. Okay. Sorry, just want to make sure we're not effing again. Looks like we're doing okay in terms of not effing. So, so far it's good. So yeah, this I guess would be the Warriors trade. It's not great. You get Moses Moody out of it, and then I don't know if you can even trade Wiggins for anything. I don't know how his value is around the league. It's probably not great because he's not played a lot of games in recent history. I mean, oh, actually, he did play 71 games. I completely forgot about that. He missed some time, but it wasn't a lot of time last season. But his stuff just went down. But then the year prior, he missed a lot of time due to just off the court stuff. So, and the Bulls would then be responsible for his last 3 years of his salary, which we do not want that. I do not want to take that salary back, but I'm aware things have to be done. I am shocked that there's been nothing else. Like, there's been nothing else? Are you kidding me? Bro, I mean, we're half hour in, and nothing has really come to fruition, which is really sad. Alright, hold on. I just want to do a quick look at the salary stuff for Golden State, because this is interesting to me. Let's do an overview, because I don't want to look at all the numbers. This hurts my head sometimes. Okay. First apron. Oh, okay. So they're projected actually to have some space, it looks like. Okay. Well, either way, though, they're going to be over the initial tax threshold, and then they're going to be in the first apron, for sure. Assuming that they go out and get some people. But what they cannot do is do a sign-and trade, because if you do a sign-and trade, as I go back to this this post here, important stuff to know, you will be hard capped at the first apron, which, if you're wondering what the first apron is this season, the first tax apron is going to be at $178 million, okay? That's different than the luxury tax threshold, okay? There's two different things that we have to keep in mind. The threshold for the luxury tax is set for 170. So if you go to 170 or higher in salaries, you're in the luxury tax. But you will be hard capped at $178 million if you make certain moves. And so for the Warriors, for example, if they decide, hey, we're going to acquire a player via sign and trade, which that does not mean, you know, if they decide to sign and trade Klay Thompson, that does not mean that they can do that and not get hard capped. But if they acquire a player via sign and trade, it hard caps them. And so they cannot spend more than $178 million if they do such a thing. That's the reason why the Paul George idea is kind of off the books, because if they would do that sort of deal, that would hard cap them, and then they would not have enough money to go out and try to fill out the rest of the roster. It would just not be possible. So that's the reason why the Paul George idea is just basically dead. And if you're wondering about a sign and trade for that, like I said, it's just hard for them to do such a thing. All right, anything? Okay, post. With cap space, teams Atlanta focused on wing free agents and Utah focused on current roster decisions. The Knicks working to hard cap. Sources say the Oklahoma City Thunder are in What? Knicks are working to hard cap. Sources say that the Oklahoma City Thunder are in Eugene, Oregon set to meet Isaiah Hartenstein. That makes a lot of sense. I think Isaiah Hartenstein to the Thunder makes a lot of sense. I'm trying to understand though what the Knicks are trying to do here. So the Knicks are trying to hard cap themselves, which means that they are already at the hard cap probably, and so trading or getting rid of Isaiah Hartenstein would help them, but I don't think the Knicks have done any moves to hard cap themselves yet. I'd have to double check though. Sorry, I'm slow today. Where is here? Thank you. I'm so sorry. Okay, wait. What did the Knicks do? I need to look into this. Let me look at the transactions to see if anything triggered a hard cap here. Because as you can see here, the Mikal Bridges trade hasn't even happened yet because it can't happen. Like that's not allowed to actually happen just yet. So I'm just interested to see. Oh no, wait, it did happen. Okay, wait, no, it did happen. Okay. So what triggered the hard cap then? Okay, maybe I need to look into this deal and just see what would happen. So Mikal Bridges got 23 because there is another rule, and if you just give me just a second to look at it. Okay, Bogdanovich. Would that be 125%? Because that is actually a way to hard cap yourself if you actually use like 125% to match salary in a trade, you get hard capped on the first apron. But I don't know if that's actually true or not. So I don't know if Shams' post is 1,000,000% correct. Sorry if you hear the dogs. Give me just a second. 1 second. Okay, wait. So the Knicks are. Okay, hold on. I'm actually gonna manage the Knicks here. Just want to see. I need. This is the reason why I liked Spot Track before, but they changed their website, so now we can't really do anything on it unless you go here. And as you see, if you go here, you're not allowed to trade people. So. Okay, so let's see here. They're currently stuck at 223, so they are very ahead. Currently, the first apron. They're re-signed OG Anunoby. So we're gonna renounce Alec Burks' cap hold, as well as Precious Achua's because we're not re-signing him. And then also Isaiah Hartenstein's. This is the first round pick. Okay, what did that do? I see. Okay. So the Knicks are still gonna have to get under, assuming that this trade that they just did to get Mikal Bridges actually hard capped them, which is a possibility. Which I'd have to run the numbers, but they're trying to actually find money here to go ahead and spend, because right now they don't have any money. They're actually above the first apron, which they're not allowed to be. So I could go ahead and even do this where I renounce these other guys' rights. And so even after I do this, it's gonna just barely get. Oh, actually, so yeah, you have about $6 million, which is not a lot. So that's probably what they're actually trying to do. Okay. Sorry, I just want to figure that out because I'm always interested in how those things work. All right. Chris Haynes just reported the Bulls offered Zach to the Warriors for CP3 and Wiggins. The Warriors said no and waived CP3. Interesting. Let me pull up Chris Haynes, because that's a very interesting thing if that actually did happen. Because if I'm the Warriors, I take that. But I guess you could also argue that they're like, well, we're not going to include both CP3 and Wiggins, right? Instead, though, you can have one as CP3 and, Moses Moody and someone else, but you can't have Wiggins and CP3. That's just not going to work, because we have to trade Wiggins for other people. Which, I don't know. Where'd you see that reported, actually, William? Was that reported on here, or is that NBA TV? I see. Okay, I'm gonna trust them because he has inside information with Clutch, so I'm gonna trust it. But maybe that's also a leak. You know, if that could also just be a leak by some of the front offices to try to keep LaVine's value in the dumpster. So we'll see. Bro, I'm just shocked that we haven't got anything here. This is just upsetting to me. Let's see. What was I gonna do? I was gonna do something. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna go back to Chicago here. So just so you guys understand where the Bulls are at. So as you can see here, because of all the cap holds that we have. The Bulls are way over the first and second apron. We're not going to be over that. Obviously, we're not going to be luxury tax next season. So, what the Bulls can do right now, first up, Andre Drummond's not coming back. So, we're just going to renounce his rights. I cannot sign and trade DeRozan here. Like, I wish I could. I truly wish I could. But I'm going to show you what I think could happen when it comes to DeRozan and the Bulls. I don't know why we have Matt Thomas's cap hold still here, but we still do. I'm gonna assume that Javonte is not coming back, but if the Bulls decide to re-sign him, then it'll just be for the minimum, so it's nothing too interesting. I'm gonna let go of Henry Drell. We're gonna keep Adama Sanogo because they gave him the qualifying offer. Okay, so that only got us to here. Okay. Now, if we just go ahead and get rid of this $43 million cap hold for DeRozan, that will get us below, right, the luxury tax. But we're trying not to do that in this sort of scenario. So what I think is actually going to happen is this. So I'm gonna sign DeRozan in this scenario, but let's think of this as, let's say it's a sign and trade, and the Bulls get Norman Powell out of it. Okay, so instead of it actually being DeRozan, it's gonna be Norman Powell instead. We'll just go ahead and say like 2 years. Actually, I'm gonna pull up Norman Powell's contract just in case. So again, this is the idea that the sign and trade to the Clippers is possible. Okay. Let's see. So I'm just for the sake of time, I'm just gonna say 20 million. Okay. Because Powell's contract, actually, I'll go 19 million just to make this even simpler. Oh, whoops. Didn't realize I was going to do that. Okay. So let's just say 19 million for DeRozan. So it's about 40-ish million, but again, it's going to be probably just a slight bit more for DeRozan. So then this is where the Bulls would be at, okay? We would not have any cap space, as you can see here, as that's been the plan all along, right? And this number here is just below the tax, okay? As I said earlier, if you're wondering about what the tax number is for this season, the luxury tax threshold is 170, okay? 170 million. So this move right here will put the Bulls at $169 million and like right below the tax. That's what I think is probably likely for the Bulls here. And this is not trading LaVine. This is not trading Vucevic yet. This is not getting rid of Lonzo Ball's contract, okay? And this is with re-signing Patrick Williams to the estimated money that he's going to get this season, okay? So that's the options that I see for the Bulls. And again, this is not including Adama Sanogo and whoever else they want to bring in. And for this is going to count though Buzelis's money, which I'm going to see if I can actually. No, I can't. So yeah, this is counting Buzelis's money in this scenario too. So this is kind of what I think is possibility. Again, the numbers aren't perfect, right? But this is kind of what I see. And again, it's instead of this being DeRozan, this is Norman Powell instead. So a sign and trade to the Clippers would involve Norman Powell going to the Bulls. This is the simplest way that I see this working out for the Bulls and the Clippers, honestly. Is Mo Bamba a free agent? I don't know. I don't think he is. I think the Magic locked him up. Oh no, he is a free, or not Magic, excuse me, Lakers, Jesus. Mo Bamba is a free agent. Huh. I'm not very high on Mo Bamba, I'll say. I think that he has some problems as just his motor, and he is a center that likes to kind of shoot too many threes for a dude that really shouldn't be shooting that many threes because he's not the greatest 3-point shooter, honestly. Yeah, I mean, the block numbers are nice, but just not. I'm not exactly that high on him, I guess I'll say. Yeah, I mean, if he's gonna shoot 39% from three, that'd be great. But that's not been consistent throughout his career, so I don't really expect that to be the case, honestly. Maybe the Bulls can sign him to like the biannual, like that would if they have money. Let's see here. All right, so I just wiped away everything. So like the biannual is 4.6 million. So maybe Bama accepts that. Just a thought. All right. As you can see, ESPN is just doing their thing, and they just get to just talk about, you know, whatever's the best headline and just be fine with it. Bro, I'm upset, man. Like, I actually thought that we're gonna get like some bangers to start out free agency, but we just haven't. Like, it's been pretty dead to start free agency. We got a couple guys re-signing, and Harden obviously was the big one that re-signed. But other than that, I mean, it's been nothing. We've gotten nothing so far, which is just so frustrating. Like, I don't really care about the Bulls, honestly. I just want to see what else is gonna happen, and nothing's happened. I didn't expect Paul George to be you know, signing with anybody today or agreeing to a contract today, but nothing's happened. Wow, I'm actually just I'm a bit annoyed by how this has been happening. 22 minutes since Woj tweet what is going on. I know, yeah, it's been dead. There has been nothing happening right now. The biggest news is that, hey, yeah, we're being reported that Klay Thompson is officially talking about a sign and trade to get off the Warriors and is looking to leave the Warriors, which is like, okay, we kind of knew this was gonna happen. That's not breaking news, but man, like we've got nothing to start free agency. Like we've got just some re-signed or guys re-signing. This is just, come on, man. Just a flyer, anything. Just a flyer, anything but Vooch. I see. Yeah. I mean, Bama would definitely be like the definition of like a very, very like risky flyer. Just to kind of see what he would offer. If he's willing to take cheap money, sure, bring him in, see what he has. But that would not be my priority, honestly. Yeah, just biggest priority, you know, get Vooch off the roster, honestly, and we'll see. PG's freezing free agency. That is a good point. I do think that Paul George is probably freezing where everyone else is going to go, because a lot of other players have to see where PG goes, and then do they want to go join the 76ers, or someone like DeRozan is to actually see if the Clippers, you know, don't have PG anymore, and then they're going to go after DeRozan. So yeah, PG is straight up freezing free agency at the moment, which is really weird. I never thought that this would ever happen, but here we are. Yeah, I actually did not think this would happen. Hold on, I'm gonna hide my screen for just a second. You guys should still hear me and the music, so I gotta do one thing here. All right, I'm gonna continue streaming until 6:30. I was only planning to stream until 6, but now I'm gonna stream until 6:30. So, I'm gonna hope that something happens. I truly do hope that something does happen here. Hold on, I'm trying to. Give me just a second. More. Okay. No. 1 second. 1 second. Okay. Alright, we're back. Alright, anything? God, this is so stupid, man. I can't believe that we've got nothing so far. Alright, I'm willing to talk about other hypotheticals just to kind of see if things could happen here. So, let's see. I'm actually gonna try to go back to yeah, let's manage. Okay. Let's say this scenario. Let's say that the Bulls just kind of let DeRozan walk. Okay. Again, we don't have Drummond. Let's just renounce Matt Thomas's capital, which I don't know why we still have it. Let's renounce Henry Drell. We're not bringing back Javonte Green, but if we do, it's on a minimum. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and renounce DeRozan. Okay, which this would give the Bulls plenty of space under the luxury tax in this scenario. Again, this is before even trading Vooch and before even trying to get rid of Lonzo's contract, which I don't think LaVine or Lonzo's contracts are coming off the books anytime soon, but I think maybe Vooch will. We'll see. And in this scenario, I just want to do something interesting, where for some reason, or actually, let's just do the Jalen Smith idea first, because we can sign it to non-taxpayer MLE. And I would want the 4 years, honestly. This is not correct. Oh, wait, no. We're sorry. Increased by 5%. There we go. So if we do this, so that would be the entire mid-level exception for the Bulls. And again, the luxury tax is $170 million, so we have to worry about that still. But this would be Jalen Smith coming in and being as like a starting center in a sense, for pretty decent money. It's not like extremely cheap, but in later on it'll be looked at as pretty cheap here. The other move that maybe, actually, I feel like maybe the Bulls wouldn't even think about it if they go ahead and get Jalen Smith. Let's actually, I want to look at other free agents now. I'm gonna start looking for some wing players, because the Bulls, just some other guys that they can maybe just throw like the biannual at, and you know they're young, and we'll see if we can just kind of take a flyer on them and see if they turn into anything. But yeah, I mean, I'm not really too sure here. We can sort this by age, right? The 76ers need to re-sign Kenyon Martin, so as much as I would like to just kind of take a risk on him, it's not going to work. Derrick Jones is going to probably go to the Lakers, as we all know. Just double checking. We got a Shams post. They're trying to move Russell Westbrook. Interesting. Why? PG's trolling? Yeah, PG is trolling just a tad. But it makes sense, honestly. He's gonna take a while for this decision. I'd be shocked if we get anything today or tomorrow. Clippers are actively working on trades to move Russell Westbrook. I'll look at that in just a second. Give me just a second here. I just want to look at this whole stuff, which not a lot of options, honestly. Like none of these guys really stand out to me as like, yeah, I'm willing to take a flyer on them for the biannual. I know Sadiq Bey is a guy that people might want, but he is coming off an ACL injury, and I think other teams are gonna want him. So, not something the Bulls can really try to go after, and the Bulls just don't need any guards. Like they just straight up don't. I know I said don't really worry about positioning or positions, but at the same time, if you're gonna sign someone and they don't play, yeah. Okay, let's see here. Anybody that's just like, the only guy that I would like maybe is like Damian Lee, but he's 29, but he would just be like a veteran just to bring in, and honestly I'm not really seeing anyone else that's kind of worth it. Yeah, I think I've said who I really want. I'll look at the center position just in case here, and I think we all wanted Nick Claxton, which made a lot of sense. Moses Brown might be a guy I'm willing to take a bet on. But I mean, that's it. I mean, the other guy people have been talking about is Mo Wagner. I think he's staying with the Magic, so I don't really think this is an option. But, I wouldn't be too upset if that happened. I personally would love Isaiah Hartenstein, but I know that man's about to get paid, so we're not going to try. The last guy that people have mentioned is Badadze. I guess I'm just a little bit concerned when it comes to Badadze. I truly do wonder, like, can he actually just stay on the floor when it's necessary? Free throw percentage is not great. He does block at a very good level, so that'd be what he'd bring. But I just don't know if he'd ever even become like even a reliable like center that can play 20 minutes a game. that's kind of my concern when it comes to him. I mean, 5 points and, 5-ish rebounds and a block 0.2. Like, it's not horrible stats. I mean, I think the per 36 is going to look all right. 11, 10, or I guess 12, 11, and 60% shooting and 2.7 blocks. Again, it's not horrible. I guess I shouldn't fall into the same trap of saying that it looks like, what I thought for Daniel Gafford, which would be like backup center minutes, but maybe he could. I think if you're the Bulls, though, you do not want to be saying to Badadze, like, hey, yeah, we're going to be willing to give you the mid-level exception. You would try to get him for less than a mid-level exception, or less than a full mid-level exception, but I don't know, maybe the biannual would work out for him. $4.6 million. See if you just take it. But I have my doubts about that, because I think he'd probably want a role with the winning team at the end of the day. Clipper shopping Russ. Yeah, I'm gonna look into Russell Westbrook, I think, in just a second here. A little behind on the stream at the moment, but if I remember correctly, the Knicks were just under the threshold to not be hard capped. I see. Okay, so I did the Knicks, and you probably saw my breakdown of the Knicks' whole salary situation. I'm just confused, because I think that, like, in my estimation, they're just like, they still have like $6 million or something under. So I guess that would just be just under. So yeah, I guess, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Then we gotta replace Drummond, like, for sure he's leaving. Yeah, we gotta replace Drummond for sure. I'm gonna be serious now. I'm not a fan of this idea, but if the Bulls, let's say, for example, the Bulls go out and sign Jalen Smith, who I would want as like our next starting center for next season, I would not be shocked if the backup center is Adama Sanogo, because the Bulls, they gave him the qualifying offer, so he's a restricted free agent, and he's not going to be requiring that much money. He's a cheap backup option, and because the Bulls are really not trying to win next season, if the front office is doing things right, then let's see what we got with Sanogo. I honestly think that would be the backup center next season if the Bulls are going into the full rebuild, which they should. I have my doubts that they are, because there are reports that they're trying to get Quintavious Caldwell-Pope for whatever reason. But if that is the case, where they are full out rebuilding, I think the backup center is Badadze. This actual salary cap was short of the projected number. The Knicks are going to have to unload assets to keep Hartenstein. Number is $400K or whatever. Oh, okay. Now I'm understanding what the Knicks are trying to do. So the Knicks are trying to actually cut money so that they can keep Hartenstein. I get it now. Okay, because right now they are hard capped. But they have no money to re-sign Hartenstein at the moment, so that's what they're... Okay, now it's making a lot more sense. Because I was just wondering, like, I thought in their head that Hartenstein's just gone. But that makes a lot more sense now. I see. Okay. So, again, renounce, and, maybe this... They don't renounce all these guys, but I'm going to guess they will. And they've already pretty much renounced Precious Achiuwa. So, right now, this is not even under the luxury, or the first apron, which is the hard cap. They only need to get to under 178 million. If I do get rid of Jaquan Jeffries, then I think this is it. And then I guess I can just waive Diakite. Or maybe I'll waive Jericho Sims, whichever one. And that would get me to just under. So now if they're actually trying to re-sign Hartenstein, then they would have to move like one of Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson probably would be the guy to go. And then maybe you trade McBride, but then like you don't really have much money elsewhere, and they're hard capped because of the Mikal Bridges trade. Ah, I see now. Sanogo is so short though. Might as well play Montes the backup center for the minutes, even though he would get eaten by centers. Hey, I'm with you, Viper Strike. I think putting Buzelis at the backup 5 would be a fantastic idea, honestly. I agree with you that Sanogo is short, but for a backup center, that doesn't really matter too much. And again, it's backup center for a team that's trying to lose. So it's not the biggest thing in the world. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I think that's honestly a good chance of it actually happening here. Okay, I want to talk about the Russell Westbrook stuff here now. Yeah, we need to keep our pick. I agree. And here's the thing also about next year's draft. Like, it would be the best case scenario if we could do get, you know, first overall pick at Cooper Flag. But honestly, like, this is one of those drafts coming up where if the Bulls only get like the third pick or something, I think we're fine. Like, if the Bulls only get the third pick, I think they're probably drafting their number one for the future. Assuming that the front office doesn't mess up the draft pick. But if that, like, let's say the Bulls don't get number one and they get number 3 or number 4 in the draft, I mean, I think you're still drafting your franchise cornerstone for the future. So, like, I don't need the Bulls to be like the worst team in the world, but ideally, though, you still need to be the fifth worst team or worse, because if you are any better than that, you risk losing your draft pick if for some reason teams just suddenly like go on ahead of you. And jump ahead, because 4 teams can jump ahead of you in the draft, in the lottery. So you have to, at bare minimum, be 5th or worse. Fifth worst team or worse when it comes to that. Adam Silver ruined free agency. Yeah, I actually think it's not just Adam Silver's fault. It's the Players Association for agreeing to something that is just terrible. Like, and before we even say this, I mean, last year's free agency was also really fun. So like, I'm not gonna say like Adam Silver like ruined free agency just yet, but I'm not shocked that some teams are like having a hard time trying to figure out how to work around all these new rules. But I blame the Players Association for agreeing to such a thing, because it basically allowed the owners to say, hey, yeah, don't spend money, and that's not what we want to see in the league. And I do think that the players messed it up, and obviously the NBA is awful for trying to slip this in, and it got through. So I think it's both sides to blame, honestly, and not just like, oh, Adam Silver's the biggest reason for such a thing. Okay, let's talk about the Knicks here, because I want to look, or not the Knicks, the Clippers, because I want to look into why the Clippers are actually thinking of trying to trade Westbrook. Oh, I forgot. Sorry, LAC. Okay. So, James Harden is re-signed, as you can see here. And then Russell Westbrook picked up his player option, so he's on a 4-year contract. So they're looking to trade this dude, which again, I can't do that here. That money is name redacted. Okay, so we're gonna renounce this guy. Well, let's go to renounce Kai Jones. I didn't even know Rodney Hood was on the Clippers. That's crazy to me. Brandon Boston is, yeah, he's gone too. I don't know who this guy is, so I'm just gonna assume that he's renounced. Okay, and this still is putting the Clippers in a rough scenario here. So for them, they need to get, if they're acquiring a player via sign and trade with, let's say, for example, DeMar DeRozan, they need to get under $178 million, because that is the first apron. And you're hard capped at the apron if you perform a sign and trade. So I think they want to keep Mason Plumlee. I'm going to renounce Paul George's rights. So this will get them under. Right? This will be plenty of space for them to get under. But why are they trying to trade Russell Westbrook then if they're actually trying to win next season? Like, this isn't even in the luxury tax with this. And then I'm gonna re-sign Mason Plumlee to like I don't know, let's like a 3-year. I'll just throw out 13 million, but he's probably worth more than that. Actually, no, that's bad for me. He'll be the backup center, so let's do like 3-year Bird, and let's just do 8 or not 8, 8 million flat. I don't know, I'm just guessing here. Because Zubac still would be the starting center. Yeah, I mean, you're still under. I don't know. I'm interested. I don't fully get it. What the Clippers are thinking. There's also just growing pains because contracts are still bloated. I think you're gonna start seeing less giant contracts. I think honestly, I disagree. I think that like with the start of free agency this season, it's been the opposite in terms of less bloated contracts. Sorry, hold on. No, all positions. Okay. I mean, like, look, OG Anunoby signed this ginormous deal. Now, if you're wondering, like, this was like about $45 million less than his max. So, he got a major chunk of money. Like, I think this is, like, we're still going to see these, like, pretty hefty deals. I mean, Pascal Siakam just signed for the max. Emmanuel quickly got this contract, which is kind of insane to me. I know some people are trying to argue that this is, like, fine, but I don't fully get it for a rebuilding team, but sure. If you trust quickly this much, I mean, it's a pretty massive contract still. I think with the salary cap still increasing and with the new TV deal coming into play soon, I don't think big contracts are going anywhere. We still haven't gotten the Jason Tatum extension, the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander extension that's going to be 1,000,000,000% in the $400 million mark. Like, I still think we're going to see some massive contracts on the way. And teams are not going to be afraid to still offer the 30% max contract. And especially then the 35% max contract to all NBA players. So, I personally, 5%, I disagree. I think that we're going to still see very high contracts. I think what you're probably going to start seeing, though, is when it comes to like other starting level players, you're going to try to see the teams starting to cut off from those salaries. So, you know, a player, maybe they deserve to get like $25 million annually per year. I think teams are going to start to bargain and be like, hey, let's try to cut that down to, you know, about $20 million so that it's a little bit more tradable. And maybe, for example, if someone's worth like $30 million under the new cap, then they're going to try to cut that down just a little bit. But in terms of stars, though, I don't think star contracts are going to go any lower. Yeah, we're going to see giant contracts. They just won't be for non-franchise players. Well, okay, when you consider franchise player, I still think that teams are going to give their all-stars, like even if they're not the number one, if they're the number two, they're still going to give it to them. But I'm saying, like, for like your third best player, like, you're not going to be giving close to the max anymore. You're just going to be giving, like, you know, a pretty hefty pay cut for those types of players. Oh, update. No. Oh, okay. Free agent big man Nemias Kita. Who is this? Do any of you know who this guy is? I don't know who this guy is. I'm so sorry. No disrespect to this guy. Who is this guy? Kita? Am I saying that right? Keita. Okay, it's Keita. Numiish. Numiish Keita. Okay. He was a second round pick in the 2021 draft. Okay. So he was with Boston last season. Okay. So they're just re-signing him, I guess. Bro, we are getting nothing. It's been an hour and we're getting nothing. Massive news, yeah. Man, he's a champion. That is true. I shouldn't disrespect him. He is officially a champion with the Boston Celtics. Do you think everyone's waiting for Paul George news before teams make their moves? I do think a lot of teams are kind of wrapped up in that whole thing. Yeah. But I'm just shocked though, like, cause like, I guess I just expected some of the other, like, you know, really solid players to like go and like just kind of decide. But I guess everything truly is on the Paul George contract right now. And then after the Paul George domino falls, then the other dominoes will fall, which who knows when that's going to be. I mean, I could see Paul George honestly taking like 3 days before he makes a decision, or even longer. And and then suddenly, hey, and then free agency will then officially be open. So like July 4th or something? Drummond news? Oh, we got news? Ah, okay, here we go. Andre Drummond plans to sign a 2-year, $10+ million deal with the 76ers. There we go. There, finally something that's worthwhile talking about. Okay. Yeah, good job with the 76ers by this one. I'm interested to see how much they actually spent on Drummond, because again, we're not entirely sure what this contract is, but let's go ahead and look at this for the 76ers really quickly. Let me go to overview. Alright, so let's see what the 76ers had to spend in this offseason, because we're looking at them having a ton of money. So they did have the biannual for this offseason, so they can go ahead and use that. In terms of cap space, though, as you can see, they have like basically no one on the roster. So their plan is to renounce all these guys here, besides Tyrese Maxey, obviously, and they're going to re-sign Tyrese Maxey to a max, and they went ahead and just gave Drummond a backup center option or contract, which is a very good signing for them. I wanted to trade Drummond to the 76ers last season because I thought that would be a good fit for them, and obviously they could have used them. And the Bulls could have gotten something out of it. I personally wanted Paul Reed out of it, but who knows? And maybe Paul Reed gets waived because he's non-guaranteed in terms of his money. But for the 76ers, it seems like they either use half of the mid-level exception or like about half of the mid-level exception. Maybe they use the biannual, but according to this, it's 10+ million. So I'm interested to see the actual number here. And maybe they just use cap space, honestly. Maybe they did. Let me go ahead and I'm going to actually go ahead and try to figure this out for the 76ers. Oh, I used my crap. Let's go back. So Philly, I'll say this quickly. Big praise to Drummond and his time in the Bulls uniform. He was a very he was a very solid backup center. And I firmly believe he'll be continue to be a very solid backup center for many teams. And I think that the 76ers did a good job. So appreciate Drummond's time here. But obviously went on and did he did the right thing and went and got a bigger contract than the Bulls were going to offer him, or honestly any other team might offer him. So okay, this is the salary stuff for the 76ers here. I just want to go ahead and just play around with this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start renouncing everybody because that's the plan this offseason. Yeah, Paul Millsap. Why? I don't know why Paul Millsap's still here. I'm gonna hold on to this Kelly Oubre just for now. Why is Mike Scott's Mike Scott's cap hold still on? What the heck? I'm so lost. Okay. They're gonna try to re-sign Kenyon Martin. That's been confirmed. All right. Who else do I need to get rid of? Okay. I firmly believe that they're probably gonna just renounce Tobias Harris. That makes the most sense to me. And I think they're gonna renounce Robert Covington. So now we're officially. Are we under the cap? No, we're not. We're still not under the cap yet. So yeah, I guess they have to renounce Buddy Hield too. So they have to just renounce everybody pretty much. Where are we at here? So we're about 120. So we're still not there. We're still not there. I'm gonna waive this guy just because. So if I get rid of Nicholas Batum's contract, as well as D'Anthony Melton's, now we officially have enough money to go after free agents. I'm gonna undo the D'Anthony Melton just right now because that is a player that they do like. If I can undo it. Perfect. Love that. Love that. Yeah, bro. So stupid. Okay, like this is about what, 56 million? Am I doing my math correctly? Yeah, about 57 million. So then let's say they go get Paul George, right? Cap space, 4 years. And then we're going to talk about 5% increase every single year. So this would be the max contract. Process this. And so they would still have about like, you know, some money left over to go ahead and sign someone like Drummond to not their and not have to use my level exception. So then after they go ahead and Drummond's already on here. Perfect. I just noticed that. Okay, awesome. Even better. Then you just go ahead and re-sign Tyrese Maxey. Oh, and I pronounced them. God, I just did that. Oh my god. Alright, we're redoing it. God, I'm so annoyed by that. Okay, hold on. There. We're announcing everybody. Okay, let's try to keep Anthony Melton, because yeah, you'd still you wouldn't have enough money, would you? Crap. Yeah. I guess you don't have enough money. Okay. Let's just do this, because this is calculating with the Drummond contract idea, which this is very close to the biannual. So I'm interested to see if he actually just signed for the biannual. And then obviously Paul George, cap space, and then we're gonna do 5% increase every single year because it's a max contract. So we'll do that. And then oh, okay, wait. Yeah, let's do that. Whoops, that's not what I want to do. Okay, Tyrese Maxey, let's re-sign you as a free agent. Let's see if this actually works, because Spotrack's been stupid. And it won't work. Oh my god, bro. I hate Spotrack, bro. What the hell? Okay, we won't be doing it now because Spotrack's stupid and they don't want to show everything, and they took away all my features that I like to use. So I'm annoyed. Alright, overall thoughts on Drummond stuff. Let's see here. Like Drummond's personality, but I'm gonna be glad not having to watch Drummond play. He was a very up and down player. He made some boneheaded plays. But yeah, that, you know, his stuff is very valuable for a winning team. And the Bulls are not going to be next season, ideally, which we'll see if that actually does happen or not. I have some doubts, honestly. Alright, just a quick look, because I just want to see what under the cap stuff is going to happen here. So the room exception is about $8 million. Okay, that's good to know. So Drummond could have signed for the room exception, maybe, if it's about 4.8. So then they still have a little bit extra left over. And then they'd have like about like 12-ish million to spend after they sign someone like Paul George. So and that's just in cap space, and then they can use the room exception later. That makes a lot of sense, yeah. Alright, well, we got one sort of domino to fall in free agency to start the day, but haven't really got anything else. Okay, I did just see that, so I'm gonna go back to my timeline. So this right here, I was pretty adamant about trading Drummond at this deadline because it has been reported that the Bulls could have gotten three second round picks out of the 76ers for Drummond last season. Now he leaves for nothing, right? It's second round picks, so it's not the worst thing in the world, but this is the reason why I'm like, hey, look, if you're actually trying to rebuild here, you need as many picks as possible. I don't care if it's first or second, get picks, okay? And the Bulls just straight up are like, yeah, we decided no, we're not going to trade Drummond this at the deadline. It's just stupid. I mean, about to hit free agency, you're probably going to lose him anyway. It's just straight up bad that you did not get any value for him when you could have gotten value for him. And this is still the reason why I've been hell-bent on saying that Arturas Karnisovas and Mark Eversley do not deserve to be given any sort of slack because they have clearly mismanaged all their assets. And yes, it's only second-round picks, but still, we've seen second-round picks be used to trade up into the first round. We've seen second-round picks be useful, right? And the Bulls just don't have a second-round pick until like 2028. Again, it's not the end of the world, but it's just still a poor way to manage your assets. And it's extremely frustrating to see that this front office, now that they decided to finally maybe, go the other direction, a lot of their assets that they could have traded for value are no longer being able to, or are no longer able to bring in any value. And it's straight up just frustrating to watch. Because the Bulls could have been a much better situation if they just decided to cash in on some value earlier when they still had value and could still trade them. Not even the boneheaded stuff, it's just people talking up his rebounding when his rebounding is predicated on him missing and rebounding his own shots. So I do think that Drummond's offensive rebounding sometimes was inflated by his own misses, but his defensive rebounding metrics are like really, really good, which is not him missing his own shot, right? His defensive rebounding is legit, like flat out legit. That's not something just to kind of scoff at. So something just to keep in mind, but I do agree though with like, him fouling on 5 minutes. Like, yeah, like there are just moments with Drummond where you just can't rely on him. And that's the reason why he's a backup. But when he does actually produce, it's a good backup center to have. So Kevin Porter Jr. has agreed to a 2-year deal with the LA Clippers, including a player option. Are you kidding me, bro? What? Porter previously reached a plea agreement of a third-degree reckless assault misdemeanor in January. He is in the process of completing a court-order program, and once completed his plea, will move to not guilty with no criminal record. Wow. So Kevin Porter Jr. is able just to wipe his criminal record out by doing this court-order program. And now the Clippers are planning to sign him. And somehow he got a player option out of this too, which I don't know how that's possible. And then I guess he was playing in Greece. Let's say many teams actually wanted Porter. What? I'm very interested to see how much money he actually was given here. I'm gonna guess the minimum because the Clippers don't have any money. But wow, that's a shocker to me. What? Honestly, like Matas falling on the lap forced them to act like, I don't know what that says. Viper Strike, sorry. Forced them to talk like they were rebuilding. I see. Yeah, I'm being legit, bro. I don't know if the Bulls are actually rebuilding because with the whole Kentavious Caldwell-Pope rumors about the Bulls trying to go after him and that Billy Donovan is still here as coach. It sounds like they're moving on from DeRozan, but they still say it's an option, and I'll believe it when I see it when he's gone. I honestly think that this is just a straight retool, but I hope I'm wrong, and maybe their retool is still just bad enough that they still get a top pick next year. But I'm just being honest. I won't be shocked if this is actually just a retool and not actually a rebuild. Because the Bulls need to remain just competitive enough to keep selling enough tickets for the Reinsdorfs, because that's very important. Which is stupid. It's so dumb if this is actually the case. Okay. Reloading this one more time, and nothing came out of it. Alright. We have 10 minutes before I'm actually going to end stream unless something else pops up here. And I'm sure right when I end stream, there's going to be some major move that does happen. And if it relates to the Bulls, you will be seeing me go ahead and make a video about it. So don't worry, I'll have my reaction to it if it does not happen on stream. Please hit the like button on the stream. It helps me out a ton. I appreciate y'all for tuning in today on just a random, Sunday to talk about NBA free agency here. But we got 10 minutes before I do end stream because I do want to go eat dinner. But anything we want to talk about before we go ahead and end stream here? Trade ideas for the Bulls. Maybe some player that the Bulls could potentially sign in free agency using the mid-level exception or biannual exception. Trade ideas for Vucevic, how to get rid of his contract, for God's sake. And unfortunately, I do have to bring it up. I don't want to bring it up, but it is something that I have kind of thought about. And there are some people that advocate for this, honestly, which I'm not saying I advocate for it. I'm just saying that it's a possibility here. But the Bulls are in this weird spot right now because let's say they actually are rebuilding, which I do hope they are. But if they are actually trying to rebuild and they need to like juice up their assets to actually try to get first round picks, to use for a rebuild, there's only a few options on this roster that will actually bring in assets in return. And maybe the sign and trade with DeRozan, and maybe if you get someone else into the DeRozan trade, you're able to trade DeRozan for picks, maybe. But or you're able to trade that person for some assets. But the one person that you could argue is gonna 1,000,000% bring in something in return in terms of assets and picks wise is this guy. And again, I'm not advocating for this. I'm just saying that it's a possibility, because the reality of the situation is this: Josh Giddey is only 21 and Kobe White is 24. Uzelis is obviously 19. Patrick Williams is 22. You can make an argument that Kobe's not exactly in the timeline because he's 24. And it's the same thing for Ayo Dosunmu. Trading Kobe or trading even Ayo would for sure juice up your assets in terms of picks in return. Again, I'm not saying I'm advocating for this. I'm just saying that, I don't know if Kobe's value will ever be higher, because next season will be the last year of his contract, so no one's going to want to trade for him. And so if you trade him now, you at least are trading 2 years of Kobe White, and a team might be willing to give up more because he's under contract for 2 years on a pretty relatively cheap deal. Again, I'm not saying I'm advocating for it, but it's just a thought. I think the Bulls are going to keep Kobe White as well as Ayo Dosunmu, and honestly, I would personally like to keep Ayo around because I think he could, theoretically, I think he's going to probably turn out to be the more plug-in player on this Bulls team moving forward that you can kind of reliably trust. But with Kobe, I'd like to keep him around for a rebuild, but I'm also just aware that his value could be high enough that the Bulls maybe think about trading him. So, thoughts? Do you hate me? I hate the idea, but it's just something to kind of think about, because I do think that it is a possibility. I'm not the only person that's kind of thought about this. If you go look at Doug Thornus's tweets on Twitter, he's kind of thought about this and is kind of even advocating to trade Kobe right now, which is, I know it sounds crazy, but I mean, if the Bulls front office is offered like 2 first-round picks, unprotected, which I know it kind of sounds insane, but maybe a team gets desperate, like, especially for a cheap contract, do you decline that? I know that the idea would be to keep Kobe around for years to come, but let's also understand this. Josh Giddey is up for a new contract after this upcoming season. Patrick Williams was just paid, right? And then this, again, assuming Alonzo Ball and Zach LaVine are off your books along as well with Vucevic, okay? Kobe would then be the next person to get paid, but do the Bulls actually want to pay him? It's an interesting thought, because I don't know how much they're actually going to be willing to pay him, because he has not been an all-star yet. Again, I know. It's just interesting to think about. But he hasn't really been an all-star yet. And he had a great season last season, but can he repeat that or do even better? And then what are the Bulls willing to give him? Because, like I said, it might be more valuable to them in their head to go ahead and trade Kobe now because his value's at his highest, and then don't worry about paying him and let someone else pay him, rather than just pay him and just keep him here. I personally think that that's not the best idea, because I think Kobe's probably necessary to keep around if Josh Giddey's on the roster. And obviously bringing back Patrick Williams was very important with Josh Giddey on the roster. But, I don't know, just something to think about, because teams might be calling, because it's a cheap contract. So to keep in mind. All right, last check here before I'm going to head off here. Is this updated? I don't know if this is updated or not. I'm just going to refresh it. I mean, it looks like it. It's the last thing that was tweeted out here, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, I can't believe this started free agency. It has been a dud so far. I don't know why it's been such a dud. I mean, I know we talked about it, but I guess the Paul George contract is actually holding up everybody. Yeah. Wow. Hold on. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna see if I can get this post up here. One sec. So this is what William was referring to earlier. But so Bulls offered Zach LaVine to Warriors for a trade package centered around Chris Paul and Andrew Wiggins. The Warriors declined. Now, again, this doesn't say everything in what was in the package, but I think if you're the Warriors, this makes sense why you would decline it, because you're probably saying, hey, I'm willing to trade Chris Paul and then, you know, Moses Moody or whatever, but I'm trying to trade Andrew Wiggins for something else. Because those are the two biggest contracts that we can go ahead and trade. So the Bulls saying, hey, we want both Chris Paul and Andrew Wiggins. It makes sense to me why the Warriors said no. At least in my head. That's just my opinion, though. I'm going to go ahead and say that I think a LaVine trade to the Warriors is probably dead, because it seems like this was kind of like the last straw for the Bulls to try to trade Zach to the Warriors, and the Warriors just straight up said no. So that looks like this destination is officially over when it comes to LaVine going to the Warriors. Maybe something else happens though. Like I don't. Maybe the Klay Thompson signing trade does something weird that helps LaVine get to the Warriors. But I think it's pretty hard for this to actually happen now. So let's see. Woj just tweeted. Hey, okay, all right. Here we go. Finally, right before end stream, we finally have a big deal coming in, which is that the Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is actually heading to Orlando. All right. This is official here because Woj just tweeted it out. Other people were obviously on the case earlier. There was I forgot his name, honestly, which is crazy. But here we go. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is officially heading to the Orlando Magic, which is a big move for the Magic, and obviously big that the Denver Nuggets just lost KCP. Like, that's huge that the Nuggets just lost KCP. I am very interested to see, though, if the Magic still have enough money to go ahead and offer, you know, someone like Paul George the max or go after Klay Thompson here. But this is huge. I think this is a major move because, one, Denver just lost a big role player, but two, the Magic need three-point shooting badly. They could not hit a three for the life of them in the playoffs, and so getting KCP to pair alongside Wagner and Banchero is going to be fantastic. So congratulations to the Magic and KCP for getting this deal done, because this to me is a really solid deal for both sides of the equation here. So major deal here for the Magic and KCP, as KCP has officially left the Denver Nuggets to go to Orlando and pair up with the Magic. Thoughts, guys? Thoughts? I know it's not everyone's still here because I said it was going to end stream soon, but thoughts? As this is huge. This is honestly massive. So, big props to the Magic for getting this deal done here. I'm gonna go to Shams just in case. Great deal, yeah. I think it's just a great deal, honestly. Yeah. So now, if you're the Magic, I mean, at least just in my head, it's like Jalen Suggs is probably your starting point guard, probably, or maybe you could argue it's Franz Wagner, honestly. But Jalen Suggs, KCP, Franz, Banchero, and sorry, I'm blanking, and whoever the starting center is. Who is the starting center? Honestly, I just completely blanked on. Oh, it's Wendell. I forgot about him. Magic. Finally, bro. I'm just happy we got something before stream ended, because I was going nuts. I'm like, man, we really got nothing out of the first hour and a half of free agency, and my stream just basically meant nothing. Yeah, I think this is fantastic. Obviously, we'll see about Joe Ingles. I don't know if Joe Ingles is going to return, but getting KCP in place of Joe Ingles pretty much is huge. And then if they go after Klay Thompson or Paul George still, then I still think they would fit into this roster really well. Even with KCP going to the Magic. But we'll see though. I don't know how much cap space they actually do have. I guess we could do a quick look at it. But it'd be pretty hard, honestly. For the I think the Magic to sign both like a max player and KCP. But we'll see here. Oh, another update. 30 years a player option. Okay, makes sense honestly for KCP. That would make a lot of sense. Okay, OBS is back. Sorry, that was weird. I got a notification OBS disconnected. Alright, you know, this is a good time to call it because I'm worried that something's gonna freeze again. So I want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in to the start of free agency stream. I'm sorry, this was a dud. I mean, I thought that a lot of things were gonna happen this in the first hour and a half of free agency, but nothing happened. So it's a little frustrating. Obviously, big news about Kentavious Caldwell-Pope going to the Magic. So congrats to the Magic and him. If you could, please hit the like button on the stream. Helps me out a ton. I truly appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. Take your time out of your Sunday to talk basketball. I know nothing really happened. I'm so sorry. I can't control that though. I wish a lot of stuff happened though. This was pretty boring. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of losing my mind that nothing really happened. So we at least got one big move, and obviously the Drummond move happened. So yeah, some stuff to talk about. But if a major move does happen for the Bulls or involves the Bulls, like let's say there's a Zach LaVine trade or the Bulls go ahead and sign somebody, I will be having a video out on that. I'm giving my thoughts about the deal or whatever the transaction is. So be on the lookout for that. If the Bulls do decide to make a move, I'll have that out as soon as I can. Whenever I can go ahead and make that sort of video when I'm available. So once again, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I'm gonna go ahead and stream, and hopefully free agency isn't this dead for the next 6 hours, you know. Yeah, hopefully. All right, appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all later. Peace out.